Confiar con todos ustedes el día de hoy. Estamos aquí por un momento muy especial, más adelante les vamos a dar todos los detalles, pero en este momento les quiero dar la bienvenida para que vengan y tomen asientos, las personas que van llegando. Aquí hay asientos, señores, los que están allá atrás, pasen, pasen. Welcome, welcome everyone. How y'all doing? I feel like I'm really loud. Yes, okay. Vamos a ver aquí, if you guys are just getting here, there's some seats available, so help yourselves out here. So is everybody excited about today? Let's see. Vamos a hacer este programa en inglés y en español, Spanglish, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We're going to have a lot of fun. We have some very interesting people in here that they're going to share some amazing stories with us. Una gente, y luego que son mujeres, unas mujeres, pero bien interesantes, muy educadas, muy lindas, con unos corazonzotes enormes que les gusta ayudar a la comunidad. No lo vamos a pasar súper bien. Aquí sus hijos en este colegio, les digo que tienen unos excelentes ejemplos como maestros, ¿eh? Y bueno, ¿estamos listos? ¿Sí? Les tenemos una sorpresita por allí, no sé si ustedes los vieron, pero tenemos a unos matachines. Pero no sé si ya están listos. ¿Yes? Oh, ahí los escucho. Bueno, señoras y señores, muy buenas tardes. Para empezar la ceremonia, tomen asiento, apaguen sus celulares. Please turn off your phones. And we're going to get started with a beautiful dance. Please give a big round of applause para los matachines dancers from Immaculate Heart of Mary. Fuerte el aplauso. El baile sirve como una forma de expresar profunda devoción y gratitud que las comunidades hispanas tienen por la Virgen María, así como para celebrar su herencia cultural. Para muchos hispanos, la danza de matachines es una manera de expresar su fe y honrar sus antepasados que practicaron esta tradición antes que ellos. La danza también sirve como una forma de conectar con sus raíces culturales y transmitir sus tradiciones en las futuras generaciones. Fuerte el aplauso nuevamente. Ellos son matachines dancers from Immaculate Heart of Mary. Y bueno, ya andan con más energía, se les pegó la energía. You got more energized after that dance? I know I did. You didn't see me, but I was going beating back there. Well, welcome. Bienvenidos sean todos ustedes. What a great performance. My name is Alma González, and I am thrilled to be here with you guys. Bienvenidos sean todos ustedes, y mi nombre es Alma. Voy a ser su maestra de ceremonia. Y sean todos bienvenidos a la celebración de logros, which this is the inaugural Hispanic Celebration of Achievements. Un fuerte aplauso para todos los estudiantes. Estamos aquí felices, entusiasmados porque van a pasar muchas cosas. Se les va a platicar más adelante, pero antes yo quiero darle la bienvenida a una persona muy especial. I want to welcome to the podium Dr. Mayra Fuentes. She's an associate professor of Spanish at Northwest Campus and the chair of the planning committee for this event. So I'll say she gets a super round of applause making this happen. Doctora Fuentes.
Gracias, Alma. Buenas noches a todos, bienvenidos. I'll start with a short summary in English and then I'll switch to Spanish. Welcome students, family and friends. This event is a dream come true. A lot of planning and people are behind the event. We are here to honor these amazing students who in a couple of weeks will be graduating. But we're also here to honor those who are behind them, their support group, parents, sons, daughters, grandparents, spouses, siblings, uncles, professors, advisors, and more. Thank you for being there for our students. We are now here because of all the sacrifices were worth it. Many of you, like myself, are first-generation students. You are breaking cycles, creating a path for others to follow. Be proud of who you are. Be proud of where you're coming from. I cannot wait to see what the future has stored for you and the positive impact you make in your family and in the world. Ahora sí, en español. Bienvenidos estudiantes, padres, familiares y amigos. Este evento es un sueño hecho realidad. Detrás de este evento hay una gran planeación y mucha gente que lo hizo posible. Este logro que estamos hoy celebrando es en gran parte gracias a ustedes, padres, hermanos, tíos, hijos, abuelos, esposos, ustedes que han sido el sistema de apoyo de estos estudiantes, que han estado ahí para motivarlos a seguir adelante y no desistir. Hoy estamos aquí para celebrar la culminación de tantos esfuerzos y sacrificios. Hoy estamos aquí para decir que tanto sacrificio valió la pena. Profesores, consejeros y demás, ustedes han sido escogidos como padrinos de este evento por una importante razón. Estuvieron ahí para estos estudiantes, los apoyaron y no los dejaron rendirse. Ustedes también merecen un gran aplauso. No dejen que ese deseo de apoyar a nuestros estudiantes se muera. Sigamos siendo ese impulso que nuestros estudiantes necesitan. Muchos de ustedes, al igual que yo, son estudiantes de primera generación. Ustedes están rompiendo ciclos y barreras y creando un camino para los que vienen detrás de ustedes. Hoy terminan este capítulo de su vida con nosotros en TCC, pero su historia no termina aquí, claro que no. Su historia continúa, porque su futuro está lleno de infinitas posibilidades. Ustedes están creando un cambio generacional que impacta a toda su familia. Ustedes están creando el camino que otros seguirán. Recuerden, caminante no hay camino, se hace camino al andar. Tenemos que seguir adelante y aspirar por las posiciones de liderazgo. Tenemos que actuar siempre con dignidad y representar a nuestra comunidad. Ahora nos toca a nosotros apoyar a los que vienen detrás y ser siempre un gran ejemplo de nuestra raza. Enorgullezcanse siempre de sus raíces y de lo mucho que han logrado, y sean ese ejemplo a seguir. Estoy esperanzada y muy emocionada de ver todo lo que van a lograr. Hoy salen de aquí con las herramientas para lograrlo y dejar una huella en este mundo. Gracias.
Thank you, Doctora Fuentes. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the following distinguished guests. Our board members, please stand to be recognized. Our Chancellor, Dr. Elva LeBlanc, along with the campus presidents, vice presidents, and students affairs. Fuerte el aplauso para ellos so we can recognize them. Okay, now we want every student and family member to know they belong here. Their language, their heritage, and their culture are valued, welcome, son apreciados. Queremos que todas las familias y los miembros sientan que pertenecen aquí, su idioma, su herencia y su cultura. Todos son bienvenidos. If you hadn't had a chance to watch the You Belong Here videos o Tú Perteneces Aquí, please take a moment after the event to watch them truly. Hay unos videos muy bonitos que se llama Tú Perteneces para que tomen el momento y los vean. Okay, so now I'm glad to introduce you three dynamic panelists who will be share the experience of being a Hispanic student and how they persevered to their goals. Our first panelist is Dr. Elva LeBlanc, Chancellor of Tarrant County Community College. And let me read you a little bio about her. Dr. LeBlanc was confirming TCC's sixth chancellor in 2002. She brings her great experience as a former TCC student and as a long-time educator to leading the college. Please help me welcome Chancellor LeBlanc. We also like to welcome Ms. Teresa Ayala. She is our board president of Tarrant County Community College. Ms. Ayala has ascended from TCC student to adjunct instructor to becoming the first Latina board president in TCC's history. Her experience as a student and instructor provide valuable insight in her work, leading to TCC's board of trustees. Ms. Ayala's support of the TCC's community unrivaled. Please welcome Ms. Teresa Ayala. And our last panelist, well, she's a student. Her name is Lucy Rangel. ¿Qué les digo de Lucy? Lucy was born and raised in Fort Worth. And to her, her mom, her dad, and her grandmother are the most important people in her life. They are from a small town in Guanajuato called Marvato de El Sinal in Mexico. And they came here to seek better opportunities. If you missed it, she was part of the Matachines. And there she is. Lucy's been dancing since she was 12 years old in the Matachines, and she has a great passion for it. She is a student here at TCC, and she's getting her Associates of Arts in Education, and her plans are to transfer to Texas Tech to also get her bachelor's degree in education, but her passion is cooking, baking actually. Fuerte el aplauso para Lucy Rangel. And now I would like to welcome our monitors. They're going to be asking these panelists some interesting questions. Daniela Molina and Jasmine Quesada, welcome.
Thank you, Alma, for the introduction, and thank you for joining us tonight. Our first question is for all three of you. Can you tell us about your educational journey and what barriers did you face? Esta pregunta es para todas las tres que están arriba. ¿Nos pueden platicar sobre su experiencia académica y los obstáculos que las han llegado hasta aquí?
Well, some barriers that I faced during my educational journey were, I would have to say the big one would have to be procrastination, as everyone might deal with this every once in a while, but I just kept telling myself one assignment at a time because I would get very overwhelmed with all the assignments I would have. So I would just go with the flow with how my courses went, but overall I enjoyed my educational journey at TCC.
You want me to go next? Okay. I'll go next? Okay. Well, I don't know if a lot of you have ever heard of a dicho. ¿Saben lo que es dicho? ¿Sí? Dichos. Mi mamá siempre me decía, el que sabe, sobresale. Right, Mom? El que sabe, sobresale. So I think that was an incentive for me to be a lifelong learner, because it basically says the one that knows comes out on top. So the more information and the more knowledge that you gain, the better off that you are, and you're able to help your community. So my educational journey began at a very young age, where my parents instilled in us that learning was a lifelong journey. It was something that would continue for the rest of your life. So my mother's here with me tonight, Esperanza Padilla Ayala. Thank you. She's my first teacher, and I was surrounded by, I would say, people that were educators as a child, and so they made learning fun for me. And so as I went through life, I've always enjoyed learning. But more than anything, I think that it taught me that it was important for me not only to learn, but to be able to share what I learned with others. And so as I went through my educational journey, I went to school here in Fort Worth. I attended the Diamond Hill Jarvis High School. And from there, I decided to go to TCC. And that was the best decision that I ever made, because I wanted to be somewhere that I had things in common with people. And I found that at Tarrant County College. And I also wanted a quality and affordable education, and I found that at Tarrant County College. And so after I studied here at TCC, I went on to Texas Christian University, and then I also received my master's from there as well. But along the way, there were several people that were very, very supportive and instrumental in my development. But some of the barriers that I encountered were particularly around the fact that I had to work when I was going to school, so it took me a little bit longer to finish my bachelor's degree. But I think at the end of the day, it helped me to become a more organized student. The other thing that was difficult is that I commuted. That was a barrier. And since I commuted, I was not able to participate in some of the activities at school when I was at TCU. And I think thirdly, the other barrier that I encountered was that there was not the culture of care that you receive here at Tarrant County College. And when I say a culture of care, that's about the support services that you get here, the resources that we have so that we want you to be successful in life. So I'm so glad to be here. It's an honor to be here with each and every one of you and to serve on the panel with y'all. Ilva?
Good evening, everyone. This is really exciting to see all of these families here and to see my colleagues. I am very blessed to get to work for Tarrant County College and work with really, really smart people every single day. And so I recognize that. So my journey was very non-traditional, very much like the students in this room. I am an immigrant, and so starting school, I did not know English, and it was a very tough journey, and I remember coming home and being very upset that I did not understand what was going on around me. And I have amazing parents my mother's response was always, you know what, as soon as we learn English, as soon as we learn the culture, we're going to be fine. And she would say, I have smart children. And so that was the end of the conversation, and so we were not going to disappoint her. So yes, it was tough, but we were never taught to be victims. We never saw ourselves as being less. It was always, we just need to figure things out. And that's been a blessing. I'm the oldest in the family, so I had many responsibilities, and I saw that as leadership development throughout my life. So I did, while I was in junior high, I guess, my mother, who was in her 30s, decided she wanted to go to college. And she went, did not pass the placement test, so they told her, you can't go to college. She was totally devastated by it. And so someone in the room, making a joke, said, well, you can always go back to high school, and if you go to high school, then you can go to college. So she went to every high school in El Paso and found a Catholic school that would take her, and she started going to high school. I was about 10, 11, and I started helping her with the homework. So you never know how helping others can help you eventually. Toward the end of my 6th grade, I guess it was, they gave us a test, and I knocked the top off the test. So I get into the high achieving gifted program courses. And of course, I had done all this homework with my mom, and I knew the material in the test. So, I mean, I'm not real dumb, but I think some of it had to do with the fact that I had helped my mother do the high school curriculum. And I was very blessed then to be in a class with really smart people. All of them have been extremely successful. When I was about to finish high school, I asked my counselors to help me figure out college, because we were immigrants. We didn't know how everything worked. And the counselor told me I really wasn't college material, that I shouldn't consider going to college. So if you know my temperament, I'm like, well, great. Now I've got to earn a doctorate. So I was just going to earn a bachelor degree, but now I've got to earn a doctorate. I moved to Fort Worth, and I worked, went to school, took care of family, and attended Tarrant County College. And I had a magnificent experience at Tarrant County College. And in 1 year, I took 59 credits and moved on to UNT. So I finished my bachelor degree in 3 years, working the whole time. And so I had a job immediately upon graduation with Fort Worth ISD. My point is that we were always taught that we had the ability to figure things out. And that's what we want our students to understand, that they write their own story. Others don't write the story for them. You write it for yourselves. And you decide what you're going to do and how you're going to do it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing such wisdom with our students and our families here present today. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our second question. Could you let us know, and we'll start again, what and who kept you motivated during your educational journey? In Spanish, ¿qué o quién los motivó durante su experiencia académica?
Well, I feel like when everyone is asked this question, everyone chooses or decides to say their family. In this particular event, and you know, I feel like my biggest motivation is my family. And when people talk about their family, they talk about their great success and everything they've done for me, but for them. But to dive a little deeper, my biggest motivation is to be the best role model for my sisters, is to prove everyone who ever doubted me because of my parents' past, is my motivation, every advice my grandma has given me, and one particular one that has kept me through my educational journey right now is a dicho in Spanish saying, "Ahorita son las amargas, pero al rato van a ser las dulces," which is, right now it might be a little bitter, but later on it'll pay off and you'll see the sweetness. And I just want to thank my family for always pushing me to always do my best, because I know that is what they want from me. And I feel like the only thing I can give them in return is my educational success that they have longed for. So I am forever grateful for my family and for always pushing me and blessing me with great opportunities for helping me throughout this journey in my life. And I know that they are right here hearing me, and I just want to say I love you guys so, so much, always and forever.
Oh, yeah.
If my parents could stand up or wave for everyone in the audience.
So for me, motivation, much like her, was that this student, is that it was my family. I had a parent, my dad, who we lost last year, but my father had the opportunity to attend college back in the 40s at Texas Wesleyan. And my older siblings also attended college as well. So for me, I had the benefit of their experience and their knowledge of what it was to go through college and what it was like to go through higher education. So the motivation for me was the fact that I had those folks that were resources for me and that supported me as I was going through school. They did not create a path for me as far as my career path, but what they did was they helped to instill that love for school. So I felt that as I went through college, the motivation was, if I have these resources that were able to help me, I felt compelled and even a sense of obligation to share that with others, that experience with other people. Because how would it be had I not shared that with others? Then I wouldn't be able to help my community in that way. So that was really a motivation for me, in that I had the benefit of some other people in my family that went through college, and I wanted to share their experiences and my experience as well so that I could help others. And also, I think another motivation for me was the fact that I was a non-traditional student in that I worked and that I went to school. But I knew that what I was doing at that time, working part-time, that I wanted something more, and that was also motivation for me. And I needed to have some sort of balance, maintain a balance as far as my work life and my career and my education. So that really served as a motivation for me to really get through my studies and focus and eventually finish.
So what motivated me, I did mention I had amazing parents that saw possibilities and came to this country because they understood that they could have a better life. And I often tell the story that my mother says to Dad, we need to move to the States where we can have a better life. And he says, let me understand this. We don't have any money, we don't know English, we have 2 babies, and we don't know anyone there. Yeah, I think we can do it. And that is part of our DNA. So sometimes, and the presidents are going, I'm starting to understand a little bit more about how she operates. But yes, the harder something is, the more difficult, the more challenging, the more appealing it is to me. And that's my whole family is like that. So we thought that was normal, but maybe not so much. In any case, we understood that education was how we were going to make it to middle class. And we made huge sacrifices in order to get an education. And nothing was going to keep us from finishing. And regardless of what might have been a barrier, we didn't really see it as a barrier. We saw it as a slight inconvenience. And we just need to figure it out till we get to where we need to be. I am a lifelong learner, so every time I entered a new job or a new experience, I felt the need to learn more about it, and that led to my going back to school. And so when I started teaching in the public schools, I felt underprepared, and I kept going back to school to learn more about how I could help my students, the children. And that has never stopped. I continue to learn to this day. For me, family is extremely important. That is the wind beneath my wing, if you will. And today, my family is, my immediate family is not with me, but my family is right here. And I see the whole college as an extension of my family.
Muchísimas gracias por sus respuestas. Next question and final question. What is your advice for the soon-to-be graduates this evening? Siguiente y última pregunta. ¿Cuál es su consejo para los próximos graduados de esta noche?
My biggest advice for the graduates here present today is, I will be very simple, but I know it sounds very cliche, but I have to say that my best advice I could give is to never give up. We all serve a purpose here in this life. We may not know it right now, but we are here for a reason, and whatever bump on the road life throws you, the most important thing is how to know how to overcome those bumps. That way we are able to avoid those bumps in the future. And whatever us individually are going through, share a story, a very important story in our society. We are the future of our society, and it is important to never ever give up and keep on going. And like a quote that I like to quote sometimes is from Dory from Finding Nemo. She says, "Keep on swimming."
That's a great advice. Keep on swimming. I think I have a couple of things I'd like to share with you. One is I hope that you choose the most positive and best way to express yourselves, to share your stories with others, because your story is important, your journey is important, your values are important, you are important, and your culture is very important. And I think as you share your stories with others, you'll find that there's just a thread of similarity of your story and someone else's life. And that little thread is what connects communities. So I hope that you share your story. My hope also is that you take your life experiences and share those with others. There's a saying that I just love. I'm going to quote it here. It says, it's from the Colombian author Luisa Fernanda Cicero. And she said, sometimes the biggest accomplishment in life is to find yourself. So do not underestimate the value of your life experiences to improve the lives of others around you. So what she's saying is whatever life experiences we have, those are great and we want to hold on to them, but we also want to share them with others. And finally, I just want to encourage you to su futuro está en sus manos, your future is in your hands, and I encourage you to embrace it. And we're so glad that you chose to share your educational journey with us here at Tarrant County College. And congratulations to each and every one of you.
I just want to add that I encourage you to focus on your strengths. So today is a celebration of the Hispanic culture. In our culture, we focus a lot on collaboration, cooperation, and it's through those connections that we're able to do very, very well. We have a strong work ethic, and that is invaluable, and that's something we learn when we're tiny, right? So work on your strengths, confianza, trust yourselves, and trust that you can reach whatever dream you may have. And again, you write your story. You don't have someone else write the story for you. And I'm extremely proud of each and every one of you, and I look forward to seeing the students come up here in a few minutes, because that's the best part of this whole program. So thank you very much.
Muchísimas gracias. Por favor, manténgase sentada. Manténgase sentada, tenemos un obsequio para ustedes.
Wow, qué palabras. Those are some deep thoughts and lovely stories. Once again, give them a big round of applause. Ladies, as a small token of appreciation for your words of wisdom and support in this event, we would like to present you with an orchid in a student-created pot from one of our students, Camila Reed. She's from Northwest Campus. Camila has been at the Northwest Campus since 2014 and enjoys pottery making, but especially she enjoys her professors. Also, there's a certificate of appreciation with HSI logo of supporting our community and our culture. Qué bonito. Ahí está la foto del recuerdo. 3 diferentes historias, ¿no? Pero todas tienen la misma cosa en común, tienen la pasión. Thank you so much, ladies. Gracias. Okay, so now we are going to transition to the next segment of the celebration. Vámonos al próximo segmento de la celebración, where we would like to invite some very special people to the stage. But before I do that, let's recognize the students. Please line up by the window, and sponsors, please be ready to walk with the students. Entonces los estudiantes se ponen de este lado. ¡Ay, qué chulos! ¿Ya están todos listos? Wow. Like kinder, right? Does this remind you back in kinder? Mira. And then los patrocinadores los van a acompañar ya cuando les indique, okay? But first, I would like to invite Professor Jesus Gonzalez. He's the instructor of Spanish at Northwest Campus. And also Professor Alejandro Garza, Associate Professor of Spanish at Northwest Campus. Please join me for the name calling of the students.
I'm gonna start first. I'm Alejandro Garcia.
You're okay, Alejandro?
Okay. Okay, we're so happy to announce all the students. And students, you're gonna come this way, and you will hand me the card, and then I will announce your name, please. Yes, and also, one more thing, I'm sorry. I got too excited. All the sponsors, please find your student, and you can come in right now. The sponsors are the one who are putting the stall on the students. Todos los patrocinadores que acompañan a los estudiantes y que le van a poner la estola, por favor, encuentren a sus respectivos estudiantes. Puede ser su hijo o su hija.
And let's see, we also need to invite to the stage Vice President of the Student Affairs of the Northwest Campus, Teresa Craig, to be sponsored some of the students, those who didn't bring sponsors. And finally, we'd like to invite Vice President for the Student Development at the Northwest Campus, Dr. Jane Clayton, and Title V Director of College Access and Readiness, Dr. Dementia Razzo, to present the certificates to our students. So aquí es donde le van a dar los certificados y el zarape.
Y las estolas, sí. Muy bien, ok, ¿podemos empezar? Ok, en unos minutos más. Mientras ellos se preparan, yo les quiero dar, o queremos darles las gracias a todos los padres de familia, a todos los hermanos, a todos los abuelitos, a todas las tías que han ayudado a nuestros estudiantes. Entonces, por eso también les queremos dar un gran aplauso. So give yourself a big round of applause to everybody, every relative member who has helped the students to get here and achieve all these goals. Okay, are we ready now? Okay, we are so excited to announce the students, and we go with, are we ready with the PowerPoint? Yes? Okay, sorry, one more announcement.
Bueno, brevemente para decirles, cuando venga el estudiante, traten de no aplaudir para irnos más rápido, pero sí se va a poner el nombre del estudiante y también el certificado o el certificado con la graduación, ¿ok?
Y empezamos, and we start with Clara Álvarez. And the sponsor is Sergio Álvarez. Please come ahead, go ahead and go in. Por favor, adelante. It's Alex. Okay, continuamos. We continue with Clesia Álvarez, and the sponsor is Alex Vargas. Next student, Isabel Arroyo, and the sponsor is Teresa Craig. Next student, Alan Barbosa, and the sponsor is Ramon Mireles. You can stay right here, wait. Next student is Paola Benitez, and the sponsor is Antonio Benitez. Next student is Maria Caballero, and the sponsor is Yesenia Castro. Next student, Cynthia Carvajal Ortiz, and the sponsor is Teresa Craig. Student Aurelia Carlos Rosas, and the sponsor is Marcela Carlos. Student Iridian Carrasco, and the sponsor is Trey Baker. Student Alondra Guadalupe Castillo, and the sponsor is Ángel Castillo. Student Priscila Castillo, and the sponsor is Amelia Castillo. Next student is Jonathan Castro, and the sponsor is Teresa Craig. We continue with Juliana Chavarria, and the sponsor is Jasmine Quesada. Next student is Edith Cruz, and the sponsor is Marcela Cruz. We continue with Alina Curiel, and the sponsor is Nicole Santiago. Next student is Nancy Jacqueline Delgadillo Montoya, and the sponsor is Maria Delgadillo. We continue with Rosario Escalante, and the sponsor is Maria Escalante. Next, we continue with Anaí Esparza Uribe, and the sponsor is Andrea Esparza. We continue with Maria Fatima Espinosa, and the sponsors are Kat Espinosa and Aleia. Next student is Sofia Estrada, and the sponsor is Telma Estrada. We continue with Crystal Forest, and the sponsor is Kennedy Vosin. We continue with Axel Galindo, and the sponsor is his mom, Maria Galindo. Next student, Saidi Gandara Pulido, and the sponsor is Daisy Guzman. Our next student is Maria Garcia, and the sponsor is Rosa Maria Sanchez. Our next student is Michael Garcia, and the sponsor is Juanita Ontiveros. Our next student is Abraham Alejandro Gomez, and his sponsor is his mom, Lorena Gomez. Our next student is Geraldi Gomez, and the sponsor is her dad, Jorge Gomez. Our next student is Edith Hernandez, and the sponsor is Alicia Sigala. Our next student is Veronica Hernandez, and her sponsor is her daughter, Elisa Hernandez. Our next student is Daniela Iniguez, and the sponsor is Maria Lopez. Next, we have Wendy Jimenez Nava, and the sponsor is Alexandra Avelar. Our next student is Emily Knight, and the sponsor is her mom, Angelita Knight. Our next student is Cassandra Leon, and the sponsor is María Elena Leon. Our next student is Itzel Martinez, and the sponsor is Dr. Jeffrey Herr. Te presento. Preséntate.
Our next student is Michael Robert Luna, and his sponsor is Teresa Craig. Our next student is Alisa Martinez, and the sponsor is Tony Martinez. Our next student is Zoila Martinez, and the sponsor is Mom Sylvia Martinez. Our next student is Mireya Martinez, and the sponsor is Mom Yolanda Martinez. Our next student is Esmeralda Morales, and sponsor is Hugo Morales. Our next student is Evelyn Orozco, and sponsor Dad Andrew Orozco. Our next student is Adidoreidi Ortiz, and sponsor Mother Paula Ortiz. Our next student is student Ana Perez, and sponsor Javier Perez. Our next student is Araceli Perez Flores, and sponsor Alex Vargas. Our next student is Rosa Ramirez, and sponsor Jocelyn Ramirez. Our next student is Samantha Ramirez, and sponsor mentor Alex Vargas. Our next student is Lucy Rangel and sponsor Mother Marie Jessica Rangel. Our next student is Leslie Rivera and sponsor Father Omar Rivera. Our next student is Noelia Rosales and sponsor Martin Aguado. Our next student is Cecilia Saldivar and sponsor Mom Esther Saldivar. Our next student is Erasmo Salinas III, and sponsor is Father Erasmo Salinas II. Our next student is Diana Sanchez and sponsor Spencer Petty. Our next student is Jacqueline Sanchez and the sponsor Daniela Castro. Our next student is Amanda Amezcua and the sponsor Laura Rodriguez. Our next student is Sofía Sandoval and the sponsor Samuel Hidalgo. Our next student is Juliet Sierra Carrer, and the sponsor is Dr. Mayra Fuentes. Our next student is Nala Stokes, and the sponsor, Mother Martha Stokes. Our next student is Bethany Tavera, and the sponsor, Mother Gracie Garcia. Our next student is Carla Tirado, and the sponsor is Sister Ashley Tirado. Our next student is Rosario Valdelamar, and the sponsor, Noah Acevedo. Our next student is Viridiana Valdez, and the sponsor, Father Armando Valdez. Our next student is Alejandra Vallejo, and the sponsor, Mom Maria Muñoz. Our next student is Danny Vargas, and the sponsor, Mother Alex Vargas. Our next student is Julia Vargas Gutierrez, and the sponsor, Dad Eduardo Vargas. Our next student is Jacqueline Villatoro, and sponsor, Mother Mirna Villatoro. Our next student is Valerie Viramontes, and sponsor, Nicolas Santillan. Our next student is Aliyah Castañeda, and the sponsor is Dr. Demicia Razo. Our next student is Nicole Lehman, and sponsors are Ashley and JC Lehman. Our next student is Alicia Perez, and sponsor Tony Tavera. Our next student is Juliana Oronia Ledesma, and sponsor is Mom Silvia Ledesma. Our next student is Daniela Urbina, and sponsor, Father Jose Urbina. Our next student is Giovanni Morales, and sponsor, Mom Maria Morales. Our next student is Amy Godinez, and sponsor, Mom Elda Godinez. Our next student is Monica Butler and sponsor Mom Ruby Zavala. Our next student is Iliana Esparza and sponsor Gregorio Medrano. Our next sponsor is Maria Sotelo, and her brother is accepting the award on her behalf, and the sponsor is Teresa Craig. Our next student is Cassandra Gonzalez, and sponsor is Sister Karina Gonzalez. And then we have two students. The first one is Ashley Renteria, and the sponsor is Diana Lopez. And Diana Lopez is also a student here at TCC, and the sponsor is Ashley Renteria. And then we have two other sisters, Christina Zamora and her sister Ashlyn Victor. Un aplauso, por favor, a los estudiantes.
Ahora sí, aplaudir fuerte, fuerte, fuerte a las bullas. Now you can let go. Let's see. Give a big round of applause to all of them. Congratulations. Congratulations. Felicidades.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so we'd like to congratulate all the soon-to-be graduates. Let's have a round of applause, pero que se escuche fuerte. Va a ser ya que en mayo, el próximo mes que se van a graduar. And before we start the baile portion of the event, we want to thank Dr. Mayra Fuentes. Where are you? We also like to thank Daniela Molina. We like to thank Jasmine Queseda for leading the organization of this event. Please join me in thanking them. Dr. Fuentes, would you be so kind to come up here, please?
Woo. And then there's your certificate down there too. Yes. So we just wanted to take a moment. This event would not have happened without Dr. Mayra Fuentes. And she has worked tirelessly to find the vision, to have this celebration for you and your family. So we're so grateful that you joined us here today. And we are presenting her with our first ever Advocate of the Year from our HSI initiatives. So thank you, Dr. Fuentes.
Nada? Congratulations again to all their students and their families. We're so grateful to have the opportunity to celebrate you tonight.
We would also like to thank our board members, our chancellor, along with our campus presidents and vice presidents of student affairs for making the students' vision a reality. We would also like to thank Dr. Jan Clayton, Vice President of Student Affairs at Northwest Campus and Vice President of Student Affairs at Northeast Campus, Therese Craig, for their leadership, support, and advocacy of this event. We would have also like to thank all our committee members for their dedication, enthusiasm, and commitment to our students.
The planning committee for this event included faculty members, staff members, all 6 TCC campuses, and community partners. If you participated in any way in this event, please stand up to be recognized. This couldn't be done without you tonight.
And a gentle reminder for students, please take a few minutes to fill out the student event survey. Your feedback is very important to us, and we look forward to hearing from you. So if you noted the card that you received when you checked in, on the back you'll find the QR code. We look forward to hearing from you, so thank you.
And remember, we can't wait to see you in graduations in 2 weeks, so we look forward to see you there showing off your stalls. Congratulations, the refreshments and the baile can now begin.
Thank you. But, thank you, ladies. Before you guys start eating and start the pachanga, we have these beautiful decorations, the flowers, the orchids we would like to give away. Ese numerito que tienen de tiquete, vamos a hacer un sorteo, una rifa, para que ustedes se lleven las flores de aquí, y también les quiero decir que, bueno, yo también vengo de una familia de inmigrantes. I also come from an immigrant family from Ciudad Juárez, Chihuahua. And my brother actually wrote a book. It's called Think Big, among other writers. It's one of the Amazon's top seller. But anyway, he's the one in the middle. He is an optometrist. He is open up to opticals here in DFW. I work for him. And now he's in other adventures. But to let you know that he started in the dumpster. And I didn't know this about my little brother, but he started digging in the dumpster to get cardboard for extra money so my dad can put food on the table. And now he's a big success. So we're going to also raffle this away. Okay? So, ¿tienen sus números listos? Vamos a ver. Profesor, ¿usted tiene la mano santa? A ver, dígame. El número ganador es el 344035. If you have number 344035, you get one of the decorations on the table. You have to be present to win or just... I think, comadre, check your number. Maybe you won. Okay, how many do we have to do of the little ones? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? 5, okay. This one is 344083 344 dyslexic 083 344 083. Y este es para un libro. This is going to be for one of the books. Es 344029 344029. I'll leave it here. 344061. 344061. And that's it? Okay. All right. Well, aquí tengo los 3 números. If you are curious to know what your number is, come to the podium and I'll give it to you. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mayra, and everybody else who participated. Thank you for the chancellor. Thank you, everyone, for their insight stories. Y a disfrutar el baile. Thank you. A bailar. A rumbear. DJ, suelta la música.